Islamic Relief is the world's largest independent international aid agency inspired by Islamic humanitarian values. And as long as you're willing to ignore the fact that the charity is run by terrorists supporting anti-Semites, you might want to send them your money. From the Times: Entire board resigns at Islamic Relief Worldwide. Leadership is engulfed by anti-Semitism storm after incendiary online posts by second trustee. The leadership of Britain's biggest Muslim charity will resign en masse today after the Times discovered that it replaced a disgraced trustee with a man who labeled terrorists heroes and described Israel as the Zionist enemy. Social media posts by a director of Islamic Relief Worldwide, IRW, also glorified terrorist attacks on Israel and showed the former American President Barack Obama in clothing branded with the Star of David. It is the second time in a month that the global aid organization has faced scrutiny over incendiary comments by a trustee. The posts, in Arabic, were uncovered by a leading academic on Islamism in the West, Lorenzo Vidino. The charity, based in Birmingham, acknowledged last night that the Facebook posts were inappropriate and unacceptable. Its board of trustees will stand down, and an entirely new board will be elected today. And I'm sure the guidelines for the new board will say, guys, people are watching us, so whatever you do, don't proclaim your support for terrorist organizations on Facebook. Keep your anti-Semitism and your support for terrorists private for now, or use a fake name. Heshmet Khalifa resigned his IRW directorship last month after the Times revealed anti-Semitic posts in which he called Israelis the grandchildren of monkeys and pigs, wow, so he reads the Quran, and Egypt's president as a pimp son of the Jews. Don't knock it, pimping ain't easy. He was also forced to step down as the director of an international endowment fund with a £7 million portfolio that is wholly controlled by the charity. His place on its board was taken by another IRW trustee and director, Mu'taz Tayyara. Well, that's good. The board found out that their director was a terrorist-supporting anti-Semite, so they replaced him. I'm sure they vetted the new director carefully, since they definitely didn't want another terrorist-supporting anti-Semite running their charity. Mu'taz Tayyara's record is going to be squeaky clean. It can be revealed today that posts on the personal Facebook account of Dr. Tayyara, who is also the chairman of Islamic Relief Germany, described the leaders of the militant Palestinian organization Hamas as great men who responded to the divine and holy call of the Muslim Brotherhood. Hamas's military wing, the Izz al-Din al-Qassam Brigades, has been designated by the UK and the EU as a proscribed terrorist organization since 2001. Dr. Tayyara wrote, "The Al-Qassam heroes did not graduate from the military academies of the UK and the US, unlike the rulers and royals of the Arab world who, there, were nurtured on cowardice and allegiance to the foreigners, the UK and the US." Well, shucks. His posts were written in 2014 and 2015. They were initially discovered by a German researcher, Sigrid Hermann Marschall, who published them in a 2017 blog post. Islamic Relief Germany admitted that it had known of Dr. Tayyara's posts since 2017, but allowed him to continue as its chairman after he apologized, deleted the posts, and closed his Facebook account. IRW works to relieve poverty and hunger in more than 40 countries. Wow, see how they randomly toss in that sentence about poverty and hunger? This guy supports terrorism. The organization found out about it in 2017, but when he was exposed, he apologized. So they kept him on as chairman of the organization, an organization that works to relieve poverty and hunger. Nothing to see here. Don't look behind the curtain. They're just fighting hunger and poverty. It has often faced allegations of Islamist links. These have always been vehemently denied, including last year when the German government said the charity had significant ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. IRW said the claim was mistaken and unfounded. When Mr. Khalifa's Facebook posts were revealed in July, IRW said it was appalled by the hateful comments. It said it condemned anti-Semitism, rejected terrorism, had no political affiliations, and sought to uphold the highest standards of neutrality. It also pledged that it was reviewing our processes for screening trustees and senior executives' social media posts to ensure that this will not happen again. So, we're assured on a daily basis by Muslim organizations and journalists and politicians that Islam is a religion of peace and tolerance, and that anyone who thinks that violence has any place in Islam is a racist, Islamophobic, hate-mongering bigot. And yet, the world's largest independent international aid agency inspired by Islamic humanitarian values, an organization dedicated to fighting hunger and poverty, can't manage to find a Muslim director who doesn't openly support terrorism. But again, as long as you're willing to look past the anti-Semitism and the support for terrorists, send them a check. Your money will be used to feed the hungry. And maybe for a few other things.